Okay, thank you. And it's my real pleasure and honor to join the Honorable Minister Stephen Lecce, Minister of Education, and of course our wonderful MPP from Flamborough, Donna Skelly. And I'm really pleased to introduce to both of you the outstanding principal of St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic Elementary School, Mr. Dean Younger, and my colleague and friend, Trustee Mark Valsori, who I hope has connected. I will turn it over to Minister Lecce. I just do want to thank him very, very much for his strong leadership during these challenging times, and in a very, very special way, MPP Donna Skelly for her continued support of our Catholic school system. This announcement today is just another indication of her tireless work on behalf of the students and families of our community. So welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much, Pat. Good afternoon, everyone. Principal Younger, to our trustees, our chair, and our partners within the Hamilton Catholic School Board and for families across Hamilton. It's a real honor to be joining my colleague, Donna Skelly, who has been, as Pat rightfully mentioned, a strong advocate for education, for young people, and for quality learning within her community. And it's an honor to join today because while we're very focused on ensuring schools continue to be built within her community, childcare remains top of mind for all of us, especially as we work to enable parents, particularly women, to return to the labor market, given the horrible disruption and the real impacts this pandemic has had on them. So today is a really positive story, part of a broader aim by the government to support parents at this critical time. And first off, it's about ensuring parents have the support they need to get through the pandemic, which is why we're very proud to have announced the Ontario COVID-19 Child Benefit, which puts $400 for every child, for every child in the pockets of their parents, $500 for children with special education needs. This is the third time in the pandemic we have rolled out direct financial support to parents, and I think it's going to make a difference. Also, in our most recent budget, we announced a top-up, a 20% top-up of the CARE tax credit. That's the Child Care Tax Credit in Ontario, which will help save about $1,500 per family per year. Again, incrementally, it's going to make a difference to make life more affordable after a difficult and costly year with this global pandemic. And obviously, as we look on a more local level to families in Hamilton, Wentworth, and particularly in the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board, and we're very pleased following the advocacy of Donna Skelly and of your local community to approve the tender of a child care addition to St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic Elementary School. And I know so many parents are going to benefit from this investment. In fact, it's going to support 49 new licensed childcare spaces and 3 new childcare rooms funded by government for roughly $2.5 million. And I really am grateful for the partnership with the board to move forward on this initiative, because it's these types of local investments in childcare that's going to help make it more affordable, more accessible, and I think more attainable for working moms and dads in Ontario that continue to struggle to find an option and will perhaps find an affordable option. And our government is seized by really fixing both, because the truth is, when we came into office some years ago, we did inherit one of the most expensive childcare systems in the nation. It's just simply unacceptable. And so we're excited to be making progress. This project will, as I understand, the tender will be issued in May, shovels in the ground by September, and the project completed by March of 2022. So this is an exciting, quick turnaround that could only been done with our partnership with the city, with the board, and with the community. So thank you to every one of you for the role you play. And thank you, Donna, so much for your continuous advocacy for parents in your community. I know there's still more we must do. And I know you continue to advocate for other school priorities in your community. They're not lost on me. And we're just going to continue to work together to defeat this pandemic, get our kids back to school, and just look forward with a sense of promise and optimism as vaccines become more readily available, that we can all get a shot and, more importantly, put this pandemic behind us. Thank you.
Pat, I'm not sure if Pat is still with us or if Pat had to leave. Well, Pat, I believe Pat Daly had to drop off the call. So thank you, Minister, and thank you all from the community for joining us this afternoon. I am thrilled that we are able to announce the 49 new daycare spaces, child daycare spaces at St. Thomas the Apostle Catholic School. It's fabulous news for the families in the community and for all residents in Waterdown. And I'm going to shift a little bit away from my written script and talk about the importance of having trusted, convenient childcare. I have two now grown sons, but I was a working mom, and finding someone to care for your child that you trusted was absolutely gut-wrenching. And so we all trust our teachers, our partners in our Catholic education system under the direction of Pat. We have seen growth, and we've seen real investment in education. And I'm proud that Minister Lecce has recognized the need for these childcare spaces in Waterdown. Waterdown is a community that has a huge number of commuters, parents who commute outside of Waterdown. So again, having reliable and trusting people to care for our precious children is really paramount. And this is just one other way that we can provide that childcare that families so desperately want and so desperately need. So thank you, Minister, for being able to provide this. Principal Younger, it's so nice to see you. And I'm so happy that you're part of our announcement this afternoon. So I will pass it over to you to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Ms. Skelly, and again to Minister Lecce. It's a pleasure to bring everyone this afternoon for this exciting announcement for our community. St. Thomas the Apostle is a school grounded in gospel values and Catholic faith, remaining committed to the holistic needs of all children. And we were thrilled to hear about the announcement for a new quality early learning environment for children in Waterdown here at the school. St. Thomas was always envisioned as a community hub, and this news, coupled with our current on-site early on center, our before and after school care, and our high quality learning programs from kindergarten to grade 8, will bring this vision to fruition, securing St. Thomas as a focal cornerstone, providing exceptional services for infants, toddlers, preschoolers, school-age children, and families. Thank you very much for this great announcement. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce our school's trustee. Mr. Valvasori has been a tremendous support over the years and has worked tirelessly to ensure the best opportunities possible for our community. Good afternoon, Mr. Valvasori.
Thank you very much, Principal Younger. And it's a real pleasure to be here today representing the Catholic ratepayers of Ward 15. It has been a long time coming, but today's announcement brings such wonderful news for all. Ward 15, and more specifically the Waterdown area, as you know, is a very fast-growing community with many young families taking up residence here. The Child Care Center at St. Thomas the Apostle will be a welcomed addition to this ward and is sure to serve the needs of this community very well. There have been many roadblocks in the process, believe me, but I'd like to especially acknowledge our chair, Pat Daly, our director, Dave Hansen, Principal Younger, Superintendent Hutzel, and a whole team of administrators back at the board office that have advocated for and have worked tirelessly to push this project through. So now I'm looking forward next to the official opening and seeing the smiling faces of all the young children and their parents, of course, enjoying such a wonderful new facility. So thank you to all who have made this announcement possible. And now back to Minister Lecce.
Minister Lecce, I believe, and thank you, Mark Valvasori and Principal Younger, I believe we're going to let you then take calls or questions from the media.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in here. So if anyone wants to ask a question, please use the embedded function to raise your hand, and I will call on you in succession. We'll try to get to everyone when possible, time permitting. So everyone will have one question and one follow-up. So we'll go to Alan Hale first. You can go ahead. Alan, I think you're on mute.
There, you guys can hear me okay? Okay, great. This is a question for the education minister. I was hoping you could respond to the press conference earlier today from the different teachers unions about accusing the government of sort of trying to privatize education through making remote learning a permanent feature of the education system.
You know, our focus is about providing choice to parents during an incredibly disruptive global pandemic, where I think an important lesson learned is to be ready for every circumstance, every eventuality, because I think children deserve to continue to learn irrespective of the challenges we face globally and here at home. Children should not be sent home without support of their teacher, without access to mental health. And that's why this province and government invested early in building up an online learning system. It's why we announced yesterday a $1.6 billion plan to return children into schools, which is really critical for their mental health and their development. I announced an $85 million plan specifically focused on the recovery, learning recovery for math, for English and literacy, as well as, again, a significant enhancement in supports for mental health, $80 million, more than 4 times what the former Liberal government spent in 2017-18. Our priority and our commitment is to return kids safely in September. We've been planning for this, but part of our planning is also about preserving a choice for parents for this coming year, recognizing this global pandemic continues to create obstacles for Canadians, and we want to be ready. We want to provide parents with the choice to make for their kids, for their households, and for their individual circumstance, recognizing that some of them may choose to pursue it based on the health impacts of the pandemic on their children, on their intergenerational families. At the end of the day, we trust them to make the best decision for them. And I think many parents will benefit from both that choice and from the extension, requiring boards to give more time to parents to make the choice of in-class versus online. But our commitment, full stop, is a safe in-class learning experience in September, which is why we unveiled a $1.6 billion plan of provincial dollars alone to ensure PPE, public health nurses, testing, access to the high standards of safety so we can keep our schools open for the benefit of children in Ontario. Follow up?
What assurances can you give to teachers then who are worried about the impact this will have on in-class teaching and the possible role of like private companies in the education system?
You know, look, I think respectfully, teacher unions have opposed the option of online learning well before the pandemic. That's the one constant has been their fierce opposition to the choice parents have in Ontario. We're one of the only provinces that have that choice, and I'd argue we benefit from it. Obviously, the primary aim is to get kids into school, but if they need to, because of a snow day, because of a global pandemic, because of a challenge, stay home. We have a system in place and an infrastructure that has matured over the past year with high standards, the highest standard in the nation. 75% of the day is live Zoom-style learning, where we've enhanced training of our educators, where we have expanded access to nearly 200,000 more tablets and computers, nearly 9,000 to 10,000 internet connections. We've accelerated the delivery of internet within our schools. Every school by September will be connected. These are meaningful investments because we thought ahead, we planned ahead, and we acted. And so this is about preserving a public education system in class and online. And I think parents will benefit from the choice, recognizing, as they did last year or this current school year, that the vast majority of parents will decide to send their kids in school. That is positive. And I want them to know we're going to make sure that their schools remain safe, as the Chief Medical Officer of Health has confirmed this year repeatedly that our schools have been safe. They're going to continue to be safe. And with the advent of vaccines being accelerated finally to Ontario, it gives us a great sense of hope for September. But that's why we preserved the $1.6 billion historic investment, the single largest investment in public education ever recorded in Ontario history. And we did that because our Premier and our government is committed to safety of kids.
Thank you.